Hi, good morning. I'm just making another blog. This is going to be different from previous blogs, right? 'Cause I'm using my perspective. I'm trying to change perspective, right? Because I realize that everything comes down to rhythm, how what resonate resonate with you, and it's very complicated understanding the express because mostly it's just like ideas, random ideas and concepts and stuff like aha moments that you just have. I just have, right? I come here, I live on this earth, I come, and I went through a lot of traumatic stuff, right? But one thing I always notice what caused me to have, well, I'm still here now, right? Because I always been fighting against the rhythm, this rhythm. I never understood mm, the rhythmic um frequency that was basically set up for me to follow. I never felt like that it was natural or authentic from my born. I always felt like it wasn't natural or authentic, and it wasn't sincere. It wasn't. It never felt like. It just felt fake, right? So I've always resisted because it wasn't what I felt on the inside. You know, I never understood fully. I just felt like I was frustrated. I felt, certain things I tried to hide, and because of shame, I tried to hide from myself because of shame, because of abandonment. There's a lot of stuff, and I always wish I had the answers, but I always felt like if I work at it, the answer is going to come to me. I don't want to be entirely set at like I was thinking so developed and advanced. But I felt like when I grow up, things would have changed. But to go back to this rhythmic frequency that like impacts everything, and I noticed that is conducive to the way the way we think, our thoughts develop and our mind develop, right? Everything is your whole reality is conducive to the way you think. But what I noticed, I always think in my problem is it's going to be very difficult to change your reality conducive to your environment. In an environment that's hostile, that's oppressive, that's you don't have much resources, you don't have much guidance. Everything is always external. Everything is always external, right? You're always seeking something outside. I notice, yeah, I'm since I've grown up, a change. Right? I'm always looking for stuff outside myself. Because now, growing up, you have to deal with responsibilities, real world stuff. When I was little and being abused and under these kind of domestic violence, I would always go to my little space, secret space, and basically imagine if I was somebody else, right, in a different world with difference, a different, what you say, reality, different from my own, where I always was the hero, you know, and I never really thought much about my future because I never really understood the culture that I was and how things operate. I couldn't make sense of it. What I lived in a third world country, right? Jamaica, so everything was like never really add up or make any sense, right? I always felt like a prisoner, right? But what I'm noticing now, the only reason why I felt like this is because I thought it. Literally, I thought it. And I come to realize that, even though I really still don't understand myself and really want to understand this more. Right, 'cause I really want change. I know say I can change the world, and really my intent is not to change the world. 'Cause I'm just one individual. Got to change the world. You literally, how the phrase go, or chaos out of order. The first create order, you have to create chaos, and that is destruction of the old way or the current way to introduce a new way of thought. Right? That's my full understanding of that quote. When I first heard that quote, never made any sense to me. And it just sounded like occultistic gibberish, right? Like from a psychopath. Because how can you attain chaos, order out of chaos? Those are two extreme opposites, right? Order and chaos. Those are two extreme opposites. So to me, in my pre-adolescent mind, I just thought that never made any sense, and people who were propagating this or have these ideologies were psychopaths, were sick, were delusional. And a lot of times, when I notice, you'll hear truths from the worst enemy that you could possibly have. You're going to hear a lot of truths. You're going to reject it. But rejection of it is the rejection of it is the problem. Because your enemy is telling you that you are the problem. The problem with you and their perspective differs. Your real problem is you being the victim, but their problem with you is that you are a victim. But the perspective and light from dark, the contrast between the contrast between two perspectives, right? You in denial of this perspective that you have, right? And then you end up playing this instead of trying to change. You end up getting caught up unconsciously. You get up caught up unconsciously in playing this role. It was very weird, what's going on. That's just beyond my own comprehension. I refuse to have a lot and things I trying to, so I don't have time for y'all bots to be disrupted. I'm trying to I feel like I'm constant spiritually under attack. People don't accept the understanding of spirituality. It's something that does exist. It can be scientifically proven. It's just scientific what I come to an understanding that is a understanding that I had to go through a lot to come to fully understand it, because I noticed that I don't have it that easy where I can just simply just believe in some, I don't know why my reality became so much out of control, why I allowed it to become so out of control. I don't know if it was conducive to, instead of dreaming a better reality for myself, I had no, as a child, imagine myself as somebody else, if that of anything, you know. But I just felt like come up, express my thoughts. God, I've been trying a lot of stuff, keep, but try change my frequency, the low frequency I am at, and trying to love myself for it. Because I see I have a lot of stuff to be grateful for, right? I have a lot of stuff to be grateful for, although I feel like in a position of being defeated, right? But like I say, what I come into this understanding is come down to perspective. But I strongly still feel this way, and that the understanding I would like to come now is how to overcome these emotional feelings that you have that's chemically induced in your body based upon whatever stimuli, right? These things that I learned. I kind of nervous. I don't know why I'm so nervous. I think it's because I've been so alone lately. More talk in my head, and I've just be in my head all the time. I figure that's a big problem too. Because, things could have been, I see where things could have been really worse. Things could have been really worse. And a lot of miracles. Yeah, and I'm not saying I don't put out work too, but a lot of miracles that have me here today where I am now, right? And I see that you have a choice. As a child, I maybe felt like I never have no choice or couldn't do anything, you know, until I was like 19, and still then I still was being oppressed because it was challenging getting around certain stuff like certain societal injustices and certain backwards, wayward stuff that practices in my country, right? It was hard to get around. And I felt like an outcast or, the way how I approach things and solve problems and was some foreign, you know, um, was difficult also being, um, having challenges seen, right? And I clearly needed glasses, and nobody had no guardian or nobody to really help there. Is since I become adult where my vision became so horrible or bad that I needed glasses, and I couldn't work, I couldn't do anything, and I literally was going on period of miracle of God um protecting me and mostly instinct. But I noticed my instincts making it worse and others spiral to emotional, like basically hell, it went to hell and made things harder to, even with not being able to see. And then certain current figures in my life was influencing me. Like, but I was following a rhythm I was fighting against. A rhythm, right? A rhythm, and it felt like a trap. So I chose to go against this rhythm and create and not create, but change the rhythm. That's my aim is to do now. I would like to be comfortable. I would like to be happy. Like I would like to authentically happy. Like I would like to be like doing something, living life, and waking up to the saying, I'm happy. I'm happy. Regardless of what circumstance I am now. I'm just going to have to let go of the past. Certain things feel like it's outside of your control, right? Certain behavior moods and we would say now patterns that you have seems like it's outside of your control, and it can become toxic, can become harmful to yourself, and with certain individuals can become harm to others, right? But it's my choice whether or not to correct it and try to become in control of, as I acknowledge it's there now. And the first thing, this is what I name my live stream. This is why I name my live stream observation, right? Because it make no sense. I just observe. I'm aware of some, and that's still ignorance, and I haven't done anything about it. If I know that it's affecting, I can't stop the stuff that affecting, you know, that affecting me from others. And even then, it would be a waste of time because all that time I'm trying to there tell others that they need to fix themselves. I now have not matured, grow, or anything. I still stuck in the same um, mentality, and now being rewarded by your enemy or whatever, right? Now forcing you or compelling you to stay stuck in that mentality that your mentality was always correct or your way of thinking was always correct to begin with. I just, I as the perpetrator just came out of nowhere and viciously stole your happiness from you, and then even after the incident happened, you're still stuck miserable. Even after your reward, you're still stuck miserable. You're still stuck. You still have the same reoccurring feelings of, you know, guilt, of, sadness, depression, frustration, you know, 'cause it's a thing, a part of the inside that feels like unworthy. You feel very unworthy. You feel as if you're not. I don't think so with many populaces like, but with me, I just felt incompetent, regardless of my competency or how I go by doing things or what I've done in the past to reach where I reach now, right? Cause I'm a very capable person. It's just I got lost in self-hate, doubt, self-sabotage. Sometimes it's hard to differentiate self-sabotage from nowadays. Self-sabotage come hard to differentiate from you sabotaging yourself from you standing up for yourself. So I guess those are two extremes to self-sabotage and self-respect. So sometimes it becomes very hard to differentiate. You will be standing up for yourself and realize in the end that you only made left to make things worse. It never turned out. Or you think people never thought that you're courageous or you stand up for yourself or no, you end up make things worse and make your perpetrators feel like to harm you more, to be more extreme, to be more radical, to be more, so what I've come to understand now, the trick or the matrix, right? You don't want to radicalize. And this is I think, like in the West, this is how they misinforming us or miseducating us, like the stuff we see in the United States and how it operates. And we come try to apply these kind of stuff in our lives, and we are not aware that our countries, the real systemic system that our countries who are not even part of the United States are running. Right. So, like I was saying about radicalizing of certain people, like, people who are oppressing you, oppressors. you radicalize them, you're not getting the same compassion or same, sympathy, you know, or any of these things. Because I think with America, with the United States, is to keep people in the chance, right? To keep people in chance. If you give them, if you feel like you reward them for despicable behavior, or reward them for being a victim, they're going to always continue being a victim, right? They never will try to do anything to, because that's what I always was expecting to. Like I always expecting for the longest while, say all of these people would come to praise me, or admire me for my courage or bravery to stand up against total tyrants, right? And never once I've ever experienced that. Never once, right? And it just, those instances only compromised me even more because I made my opponent, and I don't know if I can consider it really my fault, as I was just a child, or even as an adult, I never had nobody. I never had any parents or anything, no figure, nothing at all. I don't know how to explain it to you. And I had probably friends, but the culture is so fucked up that there is no real unity, there is no real nothing, you know, and it kind of always kind of repulsive to me, and I found it disgusting because I still like really can't trust nobody, so I usually go to energies that I like, I always find energies that I go to energies that I like, and even then I still was withholding myself. I really hope I get this. I really hope I get this. 'Cause what shook me to even make or compel me to make this video, I have a certain item or object, right? It's like the Blessed Crucian cross, right? It's a rosemary chain, right? I got it for protection. Well, it was given to me as a gift, and I use it for protection, right? And I look at it and I do certain things like, I'll kiss it, because you're supposed to. Um, when anytime I think in something really doubtful or really negative, I look at it. But this morning I just woke up and saw that on this part right here, right, Jesus Christ was there. Jesus Christ as a figure was attached onto it. I woke up this morning and not seeing it there. So I wear it to sleep and stuff like that. I never know that it was detachable, or it could be like, remove. And to my mind as how it has developed now, it just feel like a sign, but I don't know whether to interpret it as bad or good, right? So it kind of making me go back to that state of being doubtful and being worried, right? Because my mind can make it up as, or it can be positive, right? I can make it up as how it has been positive. It can be a positive, but the unknown, because this is not something I had encountered before to compare to. This is way out of my jurisdiction of making sense of this. I never expected this. It was there up until just this morning. I had this for like, must say, couple weeks now, 3, 4 weeks now. And it's just strangely now that Jesus on it just disappear. So I don't know. I've been trying to look for it this morning, right? The only place it would be is in my room, and it's not there. So I just was wondering, the thought itself, I wake up feeling good this morning. I've done a lot of stuff to up my mojo and get back my morale to some state of homeostasis, somewhere near that, proximity near that, right? So I'm trying to really be grateful for the stuff that I have now. 'Cause I never had it, and I was running without it, and still had managed to reach here now to have it. And although the hurdles that I face now is extremely different, 'cause back then, even though I used to make videos or whatever, I had somebody in my corner, right? Even though I never felt strongly about, I was still grateful for but things changed between me and these people and certain stuff. Not the same, and I'm just going to have to let it go. If I really had loved this person or appreciate this person, it won't be hard for me to let them go, because I let them go out of love, and all those people, the tricksters and I don't really show no love for them. I don't know how you can come to love somebody who is so, who their whole to their whole core, they vibrate on a low frequency. They all do nothing but to deceive and try, mislead and try, do all sort of disruptive, destructive, and corruptive stuff, corruptive, stuff that, to just create total chaos. And I'm not a person who is very chaotic. I like when things are in order, because it's just, even when my mind feel like, just things just imbalance, and I don't like to be in a messy environment. I don't like to be internally and externally. And sometimes you just feel like you can't get up and do anything. You try to ignore it. You try to leave it alone, or you don't want to deal with that now. You procrastinate. You know, you try to tell yourself you don't know how to go by doing that, or certain stuff. Uh, you with me, I always get around doing it. I realize from a long time, if I don't do it, who going to do it? Nobody not going to do it for me. That's why I always tell myself, even though sometimes I will procrastinate and, I'll procrastinate, just find all sorts of excuses, say I'm depressed right now, or, I wasn't really that type of person growing up. Like, I never usually use depression as an excuse, because depression was something that wasn't really explained to me properly. I always thought depression used to be like, if from somebody say you're depressed, it's like equivalent to them saying you're crazy. You know, why you're depressed? Are you a child or, I'm not too depressed, bro. And the whole heap of plethora of reasons to be depressed, but no understanding of that. I was really aware to that level. I just knew I was being oppressed. You know, but how the thing is, what I really is what this mean. What does this mean? I'm going to try find back the Jesus part of it and see, cause this was like, to me, this was a gift, so even whatever symbolism, I really was given to me by a loved one. Even I don't know what is her perspective of me know, or what she thinks about me know, or what she holds in her heart for me know. But it's still like a priceless gift to me. And it really meant a lot to me. So, and I was using it as a form of protection. So to me, that's the part where me doubt. Why some good will come out of a gift that was given to you damaged. And that that genuinely don't make any sense. Cause how I felt about it before, I wouldn't. That's why I wear it all the time. I take it off, or I never expected this to happen. And I never know these things would happen. Like what possibly happened. I slept on a bed. I never slept on a bed with bones or nothing like that. And, I trying to change a lot of stuff about me and improve myself. And I use the laws of attraction. Because to me it feels like that's all I have left. Like people, there is no sincere generosity in the world. It's like, to me, it's like I always have to manifest my own form of happiness or my own, it won't just fall into place like that as long as I do the work, or, cause some hurdle or obstacle will come for me to basically like Dungeons and Dragons. I'm the knight, and I always have to fight the dragon. And to me, I feel like I've always gone out there without no armor, no shield, no sword. So I always end up, I reach the final boss now and incompetent or unprepared fight for the final battle. So I end up, maybe gaining some treasures, but still lost the war, you know, well, battles, I guess. 'Cause I'm still here. If I lost the war, I think losing the war is like your total freedom being taken away from you. And the only time I don't know, coming to this understanding, you know, when is your freedom truly taken away? Because if I can be in a state like this and all my enemies are telling me, say, like, like it's a choice, making it seem like it's a choice. Like universe, well, not my enemies, the universe making it seem like the only thing as to the universe telling me or I'm getting from the universe why I'm still here is like is a choice, is a way of life to live, you know. And I don't want to live that way of life. I don't want to. I feel like I have a lot of potential, I have a lot to offer, my ideas and my talents, you know, and stuff. I'm a fast learner. I really do learn fast, and it just come down to my Christian and my I don't like coming to this now. I don't like to say PTSD because that means stuck in the past. I stuck in this one or this multitude of um, bad events that happened. And that's not very good. So what I am trying to do is get my mind into the past, but not even into the present, because my present is not good either, right? And that's what I feel like I've been trying to do. When I learned that was one of the answers, right? But I definitely cannot apply that. It's not like it's a bad thing to do that, right? But if you're not in a particularly good situation now, conducive to the past, you know, it's not it's not say it's an ineffective way or it's a bad way. I feel it does not go work for me personally. If I do not have certain things, commodities right now that put me in a state position. So basically, like you just wake up, you're waking up, right, from the past to your present circumstance. But I waking up to see that I'm in health, right? And to me, I'm lost for words. I'm lost to solve it. Don't particularly make any sense. Nothing like even finding a way out don't make any sense because it feels extremely hard, difficult. And it don't feel like it's worth the effort to put out because you're not getting not don't feel like I'll get sincerely get anything in return, right? You just feel like I'm just going to slave away or either end up being in a worse position, just trying, failing, because I don't have nothing to fall back on. I won't get one try at, I don't get no tries, although it feels like I have, and it feels like I have, but it's my grandmother died, and my family is more fragmented than it is. I feel like it's not that it was fragmented. It's just like, well, it's in the darkness come to light. It wasn't even like they were trying to hide it anyways. They were like very humiliate me, to embarrass me, and just attract a lot of attention to me. So people can now malign me and use me and just terrorize me in society. You know, and it is a very stings. It very much stings a lot. But I just recite. I easy mantra in my head. You know, I just recite. I love myself. I love myself. When you come to sister, nobody, or you don't even really want to appreciate. It's like, what it comes now. I done a lot of things I've done a lot of stuff to build up my character, to improve myself, like, my social skills. And, it always cause people to be envious or jealous or, feel like I gonna have it too easy or I don't know. These are things I always hear. So, granted the fact that still I have some assets about me, people only see it as me as something, as competition that can be taken out. So that to me show me say I don't know what to really make of it. I really don't know what to make of it. The insanity thing. I don't think the insanity thing is for me. I don't really like looking silly. You know, it's hard for me to. I'll socially look silly if it going to boost up my likability, but just genuinely those chaotic patterns. And I do have my chaotic patterns and wayward stuff, but I keep those stuff in private, and it's I don't know how to measure it or diagnose it if it's really extreme or it cause me for people generally who I think I'm normal. I think I'm normal. I just suffering from a lot of that, and I wish not to suffer from it no more. So really I'm trying to focus on changing my perspective about it, but about the past. But I don't know how to attack it because certain things was just very apparent, and it was just like I don't think my perspective was wrong. It's just generally it seemed like some intervention just needed to be made, but because of how society is, there, no intervention going in. The oppressor, if the oppressor not going show any sympathy and realize his actions or his actions were wrong. You know, that's the hypocrisy of it all. The oppressor don't want to be oppressed or no harm come to them, but they'll complain, but they're victimizing you while they're complaining about shit that affecting them and hoping for sympathy and mercy and all those stuff, but they don't share it, so the trickery, and the thing is why it's saying like I don't know is you just should not be tricked. Like I always aware, remember since I was little, I always aware of being tricked, but out of total fear, I play along. I try to play along and try see where I can get my foot in for change you, or and I think that's where I'm always going wrong. I try to change other people. Right? I'm not saying these techniques or whatever is wrong or ineffective. It's just ineffective for my circumstance. You know, I started adopting certain traits that would make me more likable to my oppressor. Make me seem like I'm passive. And it felt like I'm getting stuck in a trance, and that made me frustrated. It made me feel emasculated. I trying to play along with them to just not even humor them with stuff. let them calm down and stop sussing things where not really my abolition or even thing. I really afraid that I'm really scared of you people. I really scared of you people. So, I just want to humbly try to figure out. I just want to peacefully try to figure things out. I understand, and I'm always constantly bombarded by, you know, so constantly bombarded by them assault, them oppression, them negative shit. So, I don't really know what's going on in life. I used to try search for the truth. I used to do multitude of things, used to try from I discovered what was astral projection. I used to try do that. I used to try things to I used to search the internet and try to find answers, you know, search the deep web and stuff like that to try to find answers. I used to watch a lot of videos to try to find answers, you know. How those things changed my life? Yes, the only thing I can say always come to say yes and no. It changed my perspective, but never really changed me it into the way where my life, you know, where I have to come and realize and things that, like even the ideologies of what they call Pan-Africanism, I had to literally put down that I see that ideology is very oppressive. It just keep you as a victim, just keep you complaining about stuff, and never really acting upon it. You don't really realize your problems because you're always submitting your problems to some entity or force of nature or somebody who's not even there, who not even considering you or even think about you, a complete total stranger, right? Who probably going through struggles themselves and facing difficulties themselves. Maybe not as drastic or extreme as yours, but they don't have no time to pay attention or worry about whether you being oppressed. Because them themselves feel oppressed themselves, you know. So it's a thing where I start realizing there is some kind of negative pattern that's being developed or trying to be propagated. Right? So I put it down when I realized that, I always felt like there was real unity. So even though, we feel this, we want to feel this way, you know, you have something to fall back on. Cause you have your team or your party, right? But your party don't really support you. They don't really believe in the stuff that they're trying to advocate. It's just to be like a nuisance, right? And just create chaos. That's why I noticed that with these radical black ideologies. It's just and then when I start realizing my own genealogy and stuff like that, I don't, as she said, this don't even coincide with me because I don't even have no place in this in the first place. And this is maybe the reason why I not getting any support or anything. That these people don't see me as the same, you know. These people don't see me as the same as them. So it hurts, it stings, yeah. But you have to go get over that's why I have to get over it. It don't serve me any purpose. And I just feel like an innocent bystander in this. right? And some way and somehow I'm going to have to get myself out. Like what they say, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You know, I always talk about, how you're going to pull up yourself by the bootstraps if there's no strap. If you cut the straps, it don't matter. It don't really matter to your enemy, whether they cut your bootstraps. It's humiliating. Yeah. It's shameful. Yeah. It's disgraceful. Yeah. But it's not even from a want or a need. It's from more like a know. I know there is going to be some form of divine justice or intervention. I know there's going to be some form of divine justice or intervention. I just believe that God's just waiting on is one moment, is one event to occur to sweep up all of them wicked demonic forces, just looking for one event to sweep them all up, where them just one place, and this is going to be what we going to consider. This is how my mind making sense of the, like the Bible, biblical, bibliography and stuff like that, and not only just Christianity. Well, I don't like Christianity, although I'm going to state that I take on to the theology of Catholicism. If to my understanding of Christianity, to me, how they utilizing it in the churches, from my experiences, from my personal experience, is to make you give up your wealth and your privacy, compromise your privacy and your critical things. Right? I come in this. I was always a person who, I notice people like, like I notice a habit, something that's positive, that you would think that's positive, that become negative based upon the event, time, place, who especially, who you're dealing with, right? Some that can be positive, right? Like telling the truth. You constantly tell, I used to be somebody who always tell the truth, right? And this comes down back to you having a choice, right? But my experience, I always told anybody, I always respected my authority figures out of mere anxiety, right? Out of mere anxiety, because that's how they usually attack me. I noticed that I never understood why the authoritarian figures would have to go so extreme when I was complying to begin with. I always show manners and respect, because I went to a Catholic school, so it's ingrained in my brain to be like that. It's mostly when a sister you're being out of pocket, or you're not taking to your energy don't you know, some instinct inside of me saying like, beware this person, or that's not, don't want to deal with you. I don't see the purpose of dealing with you or talking. Cause to me, it's just like, I don't want to talk to somebody who will drain my energy. Right? They always try to be extreme. They always go to the extreme. Right? They're never calm. They're always aggressive. They're always angry. You know, they're always trying to assume some supreme dominance. Right? At one point, I used to find it funny. Right? God, I used to thought subconsciously, I saw it as like, this person probably have like not thinking on it as a very advanced level like that, but I just saw the signs like this person have an insecurity problem. And for the fact that they went so extreme, they made me think that I'm superior to them. Why they have to, they can't have no civil exchange with somebody. Them, to me, I just see it as them as civilized. To me that was just funny. I don't know why it was funny. Feel like, laughter. They say laughter is the best medicine, right? You laugh off negative things. So I feel like that was like some kind of coping mechanism with me when I'm put in extremely stressful situations. And it's a thing I came out of it. I thought it was like when I noticed in it, I thought it was weird and would have made like weird, right? So I try to stop that habit. It was one of the habits to stop at a young age. You know, concern in this world, I'll kind of straight all of it. What was I talking about? Don't know, star. I can't even start. Um, I I talking about stream. Oh yeah. With the supremacy, right? They're always aggressive. They're always this. They're always that. They always try. Was never necessary. They always try to fearmonger. They always try to fearmonger in situations that make the least sense. But I see in that the patterns, the nature. I don't know if to call it animalistic. In nature, where I used to watch Discovery Channel, and even animals have some form of sophisticated mentality. If you look on the lion is not the fastest, he's not the smartest, he's not the biggest, you know? So what in the lion that make him so fierce, so powerful, and so so what, just less than fierce and powerful, right? What made the lion so fierce and powerful? His mentality comes down to mentality, right? Everything we are coming to see is down to mentality. This is what matters most, what's going on inside more than what's going on the outside. Because if a lion can attack, a fully grown elephant or even a baby elephant, you know. And all the elephants, when the elephants see the lion, they flee. They don't even come together and say, yo, we outnumber the lions, or, you know, we bigger than one elephant could take out a pack of lions in a logical sense. But, you know, because of their dominant energy and not how the authoritarian mentality, they don't need to enforce or come out with more. They don't need to do too much because it's ingrained in them to be this way from the jump, from birth. You know, it's ingrained in them to have that authority over other animals, right? Where they see them as a predator, you know, to beware, to, you know, this is a true threat and not to risk your life, right? Because that's when the best thing is when you are a threat and you as a threat, they don't want to mess with you because what was the point again? You are a threat and they fear you, they don't mess with you, right? They don't want to mess with you because you are, it's never, you don't want to ever to be, they mess with you because you want them to not mess with you because you know, you want to see them fleeing in fear, or, you know, and the lion don't have to do too much. He's just, you know, other animals were probably never seen a lion before. You could bring a ferret from an animal from a total different environment, or, you know, what you call it, ecosystem, and that animal would just instantly know that this lion is, that this creature right here is a threat to me and my well-being, and is to stay, respect his territory and stay out of his way. You know, the lions creating boundaries already. Lions create boundaries where other animals respect their boundaries, and they're not the biggest, they're not the fastest, they're not the strongest, they're not, you know, they have so little about them. It's all about mentality. You know, and I come to understand that. You know, and that's what I want to change about myself, you know, my mentality, you know, because after being oppressed for so long, and I have the ability to change it, and I'm very aware of my condition, you know, to me, it feels like it's hard to change because your environment, if your environment is hostile, or you live in a oppressive society, you low on resources, or you have no resources, you don't have any support system, I'm not really, you know, have no netting or anything to fall back on. It feels very difficult to act upon. I feel like, to me, I feel like I'm very to act upon if I'm given the opportunity, right? Because it's a habit I had to break out of, to go out and find opportunities. So I try to create opportunities for myself, right? But if there's absence of anything to do, what can I do? What can I do? If everything, all other possibilities have been eliminated already, I've gone through it. Either it didn't work or, I cannot go back to it again. So what can I do as at my status where I am now? That would be very effective in moving forward and be real and sustainable. That it itself sustain itself, its own self sustain its reality. What I notice, all of my realities that I try to create always collapsing on itself. Always collapsing on itself because it's not stable. Was not stable. So what am I to do? That's the question I always ask myself. Every time I ask myself that question, I begin to worry about plethora of stuff, things that happened to me in the past mostly. I'm noticing that I used to think that I'm worrying about future. But no, I was never worrying about my future. All I was doing was worrying about everything. Not mostly unconsciously too. I never used to practice this when I was in my pre-adolescent age. I never used to or actively think about this or preoccupy my time and mind with. I felt like in my pre-adolescent age or years, I was basically trying to run away from the thought. And when some traumatic event happened to me that made me have to come to terms or acknowledge it on a deeper, more complex level. I, that became the only my dread. It became my dread, and all I did was preoccupy my mind thinking about it, trying to reach out to people to discuss it all. And I never really have no end goal more than just venting about it and hoping that this person will have the generosity and heart and understanding. Now, tell me what to do, and it come back down to trying to achieve. That's what I always try to fight for. I literally start by going to fight for to be a sheep. And then when I got what I wanted, right? But it wasn't what I expected it to be. Or, I was unsatisfied. I felt ungrateful because that's always what these people claim that I am. I was ungrateful for their rudeness and, the certain stuff that they said to me. I felt like I was just opening up myself to these people to now basically program me in a way that would still more something. And it was who for fault it what came back to be my fault because I went to these people and opened my best interest at heart, right? I expected these people to love me when I never loved myself. To me, it was very hard to love myself, fully love myself. I never got any love from anybody. So I just had a close idea of what love was based upon stuff that I saw in media, all forms of, right? So I had a general idea, but I felt like, I felt lazy to do it myself. No, I felt like so you have to love yourself. You can't genuinely love yourself or any features or characteristics about you. Can't like yourself and you're just living a world you where you're just a loser. I never really wanted to grow up to be a loser. You know, I've always worked on myself. I always work on myself because I was afraid to become a loser. Because I wouldn't say I imagine the situation that only case. That's why I'm living out this now. Right? That's why I'm living out this now. I always felt my family was evil. I always felt like, they kidnapped me. Right? There, right? And it's like a parasite, from it latches on to you, drain your everything, all your the what you call hope. And it really was hard to get around being. It's like they just make a lot of avenues for people of color to just be chopped in this. Cause I came up in high school. I was introduced to Marcus Garvey, and most of my life, all they taught us about is that we're just oppressed, you know. But anytime you come and do anything that's constructive or productive, they don't want to see that. They want to be oppressed, or they want to be divisive. They want to attack one another. They want to be fake. They want to be disingenuous. And it's become a thing where it's like is something that's put on a pedestal. No, like just being devious or devilish. Everybody trying to strive to be the most devilish person they can to outcompete this person. But when we're in public or on media or not, we come with our hypocrisies now and complaints of being ill treated. When we there being ill treating people now. So well, what's reality? Society don't want to accept its karma for its ills and its ills and it, it, um It heals its misdeeds and misdoings. Right? Don't want to acknowledge that fact. Say, all right, I hurt people too. So if this person hurting me, you know, is the cycle of life. It's a cycle of life. It's an ecosystem, right? But why I coming to really understand right now, I feel like grass and I am not grass. I am not grass. I don't want to be in this ecosystem. God. There's nothing for me to gain. I don't like the position I living in. It make me miserable. It make me miserable. And is it if it comes down to the fact where it's of my own fault and there's nothing I can do about it because I can't even afford help, and even if I got help, I feel like there would be intent to try to compromise me more than car. Back when I was younger, I had it all wrong. I had it all wrong. You know, I had it all wrong. I don't know how could have been changed. I just know say I'm here now. You know, it's hard. It hurt me say like so much years was taken off from me. But you know, I missed out on a lot. But you know, I'm here. I'm able to achieve to do this, even come on a platform because a lot of people out here, you know, and the thing is, what different from me and most people, I'm alone. I feel very alone. I really and truly. Everything that I maintain is from me getting up and going out there and seeking it. You know, I can't be comfortable sitting down and just hoping for somebody. Because it will never come. It will never come for me. Because if I sit down and be miserable, and sit down and in miserable and just surrender, totally surrender, I'm not expecting people to cater to me like how majority people. Because in my country, people don't even do that. If you see a homeless person on the side of the road, you know what they do? They call them mad people. They call them crazy. I don't even know how that even make any sense. You know, they don't treat people good out here. You know, they don't treat life good out here. You know, they just want to be under the deception that everything is perfect as it is, then complain about, you know, it's just total chaos and backwardsness. And then they blame the politicians when really it's them own selves, right? Because the politicians is people from the public, people from the public, people who went to school with, who you went to school with. And they came into this position, and I don't know what to say about it. God, I don't know how they reached there, you know. God, I don't see. To me, I see like everybody have it so easy and don't see it. Don't see it. Because they don't need to sit down and be conscious of their thoughts and how they think. So it wouldn't be hard enough for themselves to improve themselves, you know. But that's not the prerogative, that's not the aim, that's not the direction everybody trying to go in. That's not even anything. That's not even in the head or intention, you know. But all I can do is try and improve myself for my benefit. And, you know, I just hope one day I get out of this country. I don't know where to. I don't know where to. Now, knowing what I know, I don't know where to. But, I have every intent to try and get this right. I feel tireless. I feel, I suffer from insomnia, stuff like that. But I got some rest last night, you know, 'cause I've been doing this thing, reciting mantras in my head, trying to send something that I'm studying of lately too. It's called neuro-linguistic programming, or some people call it process. It's basically hypnotism. Right? So I find it very hard to do it myself. I've done it on other people before, but my culture is they're about spookism, and they're very, what's the word? Another word. So my head is still like, I'm still shook up about this, so my head is not, it's not even here right now. But what was I talking about again? Oh gosh, I don't know. I lost train of thought already. Well, the thing is, oh, NLP. Yeah, NLP. Yeah, I talking about NLP. Yeah, I've done it on other people. Alright, but I come from a country. I was going to use the term spookism because I can't remember the official term right now. Right. Right. I've been studying that for quite a while, and it has helped me in a lot of ways. It has helped me to reach where I am now. Although it feel like it's like something that I was already on. Not I was on that level or on that type of know-how or knowledge or anything, but there's something inside that draw me to it. Like it feel like it's either it was drawn to me or me drawn to it, right? So I do a lot of stuff on myself with hypnotism. I'm not saying I'm great at it. To me, I don't feel like I'm that good, but I have managed to. I'm not really gonna talk about it. Some people, I guess you're gonna have to stuck with the hidden context or whatever. But NLP is very good. You know, I see where if applied properly, it can basically make life easier. Basically, make life easier, cause you're just reprogramming yourself, right? You can discuss all these programmings, and a lot of programs that I never got when I was younger. I wasn't conditioned, and I already have the courtesy and eloquence and all them stuff, other stuff, don't know how to talk and stuff like that. But really going on to have like a day-to-day pattern or stuff that you do every day. Like I wake up, brush my teeth, wash my face, right? I have my own weird, what you call the term, schedule? No, that's not it. But I have my weird patterns too. Right? I have where I will go. I don't know where I got that from. Where I go, put aloe vera on myself. Like basically, when I noticed that I just was anointing myself with aloe vera. I always rub it in my hair and on my face. But when I came out of that environment, that was no longer conducive of me doing that anymore. That habit. I broke out of that habit. You know, 'cause aloe vera is very messy to deal with, anyways, right? And I'm getting older. Certain things I have more time to dedicate myself to getting this right. 'Cause I want to really be comfortable. I want to be, I don't want to do it for myself. 'Cause who else are going to be doing it for? And nobody else care. I would have loved to be able to fight for something or fight for somebody outside of myself, right? So that's the person I feel like I always was, right? I love to fight for something worth fighting for, but I don't see anything in reality outside myself that's worth fighting for. So, I feel like, to compel myself to feel like to, to know that I am of value, to know that I am of worth, you know, cause to me, I feel like I have not done anything wrong, genuinely wrong. Like, not to say I'm perfect, I'm a perfect person, but all I know that, all I come to understand, being naive, being somebody who is of perfection, 'cause I've never admit to being perfect. I'll never. And although I was in denial of when my adversaries, or anybody who was against me, or even people who I thought was supportive of, exclaimed to me that I am a naive, right? God, the real dangerous ones don't will tell it. Say he's naive, right? That will always make you know that you're naive, you know. And I never understood that is naivety. I just thought, I just had principles, self-discipline, stuff like that, morals. I wouldn't think a certain way because I thought it was bad or lead to sin. All of them perspective now. I just throw it in the trash like I was trying to tell you earlier before I go on this tangent about 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 the stuff like you learn in church, like I was saying earlier about lying. I think I mentioned something. I grew up where, in an environment where, I'm forced to tell the truth, or felt like I'm compelled to tell the truth because I was afraid that God would have me for it, right? But when I grow up, when I growing up or maturing, I realize say, like when I was talking about good things, positive things can be turned bad due to perspectives, right? And that is a fact, right? If somebody, all right, to make you understand, make you about so give an explanation now. For example, if somebody who come up to you, a male figure, right, you feel like they have intent to hurt you or cause harm to you, right, and they ask me where you're going, what would be your next act to do? Would you tell this person where you're sincerely going, or would you try to misdirect them or lie to them, right? So in that instance, won't you consider a lie as a positive thing, conducive to perspective? Because that lie saved your life, and there was no consequences more than you mislead this serial killer, possible serial killer, murderer, whatever. This man could be even arson because he could have want to kidnap you and bring you a building and light it a fire and kill you, right? So the possibilities and you now avoided any damages now or all that because were you were about liberty. You see how quick your freedom can be thrown away by choices you make, right? And to you, it don't feel like you just felt compelled to, you just wanted to be considerate or not considerate. You just want to be polite. Or some random stranger just walk up to you and ask you. So, first thing that you're trained to do is to be polite, or but not to acknowledge that this person might be a threat to you, or to be conscious of, certain cues, signs, be cautious, be aware, use your head, you know. But we're not taught like that. We're not taught like that. Not in my country. Majority of the stuff I learned was like from. So that's why I build up that character, that idea, say, strangers, and not to be, so talkative to strangers, or so that guilt that some people get from doing that, like it's like come from. That's where the sin is, where you come and inflict some kind of damage internally on yourself, you know, after you have some traumatic experience, right? Your nervous system don't differentiate pain different from emotion. Your sensory, your physical sensory from your emotions. So when it does interpreting it all the same, so if it's as hot as jump, if heartbreak is as hot, is as painful as dropping a brick on your toe, it's going to come out as painful or sharp as it you put on dropping a brick on your toe. That's what I come to understand. And the difference between the physical pain and the emotional pain is that the physical pain can go away, it will stop. But emotional pain, once you're actively, like you're unconsciously reciting in your brain, trying to learn a lesson, and for some reason you're not learning it. You still suffer. You still suffer from as if you were actually there. So I come to a higher understanding, but I still stuck. So as you say, you have to act upon it. I don't really know what to do. With all these stuff that I know, I still do not know where to go. So I'm trying to trust in faith, have faith. Now even this, although this happened this morning, I don't know what it even means. I got nothing else I can do. I still have a lot to be grateful. I can even show you guys what I'm not here to come expose myself like that or compromise myself like that. I have a lot to be grateful, like sincerely be grateful more than certain people who who going through hard times and probably have a way out but just lazy. And that's what burned me up the most, just lazy. I remember watching a video of this quote unquote homeless guy, right? He lives on the streets, and a guy just came up to him and offered him a job. Instead, I gave him $5 when he was asking for. He wanted to give him a job, and the man turned it down. He said, like an asshole. So this is the complexity of the human mind. I don't get at times. It feels like humans, like more time, it does seem like their humans are monsters. I don't know how that even make any sense. The main reason why you've been on the street is cause you had lost your job. And I know, and for this whole employee system, how they're running this system, but I have to do something to get by until I can sort out something. But this is the thing, people don't want to think for themselves. They want people to think for them. They want people to cater to them. And the universe don't work like that. Generosity, people abusing generosity and people who really need it is not being there for because you have taken it away or you making people more ill spirited, right? How can I come? Experiences I have personal experience where I show generosity to people, even in my circumstance that I am in. Cause I come to understand, when doing acts of charity or just genuinely doing is like it stabilizes your karma, right? This is why I'm here to this long, because of the situation. If I had succumbed or even indulge even I wouldn't even be here, you know, or even was tempted. And I never yet felt tempted by any of these stuff. I like the vibes and stuff, the vibing and the grandeur of it all. But when it comes down to the bottom of the degeneracy, all these other stuff, I don't really take to. I don't really, it don't really impress me. I don't really take to. So I don't even I cannot afford to even indulge in it. Because the moment I indulge, I'm going to wake up to see that there's 10 billion things for me to do. And this indulgence going to be stripped away from me. You know, because nobody really care. Nobody really care for keep things in check. So I can feel as or feel comfortable in this kind of state anyways. You know, so these oppressors are total tyrants. You know, they don't care if they lose in the end. You know, now they're going to lose. You know, they're going to lose. You know, I see it. You know, I believe that God gonna punish the wicked. You know, I really that, and I really believe they're going to go hell. You know, but you know how am I going to keep myself from going hell? You know, cause I've been living on this earth for like 25 years, and it's been nothing but hell. So if I leave this earth without any genuine, real happiness, where am I to go? Where am I going to go? And I think, you know, Christians should take me on that quote too, because a lot of Christians serving this quote unquote and still miserable, and they don't see their whole entire misery coming from the pastors and people. You know, they want you to suffer on earth so they can live in heaven on earth, right? They can have they can have things and not worry while you worrying about tomorrow. And all they do is basically use the same psychological tactics that I learning now. I teach it myself now. Hypnotism. That's all it is. We're always in a constant trance. You know, we just don't notice it. Again, you're 25% conscious. Your conscious mind is 25% active. The 75% is coming through your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is like there is three. You have the subconscious mind. There's actually four, but there's only three main ones. I think you just need to know if you're going into this. Right? Well, I'm going to explain it. Right? You have the conscious mind, you have the subconscious mind, and you have the unconscious mind. Everything that's not, you know, it's sometimes difficult to differentiate from the subconscious mind and the unconscious mind, but they're two different. So the subconscious mind is like a highway, is where all the traffic of everything is going on, actively going on through. That's it. That's below your conscious mind. It's just below your conscious mind, right? This is like is where all the programs are stored, right? This is where all the programs tend to, because traffic, right? Is on a highway. If y'all watch Matrix and heard the quotes that Morbius made about, that's the subconscious highway to your conscious mind. And there's a threshold where, you know, things that you're not really actively thinking about in your consciously is dwelling in, it's playing backwards, is playing ongoingly in your subconscious mind. Everything that you witness on earth since you've been alive is pre-recorded and stored. Not stored, it's actually stored in the unconscious mind. That's where things stored in. But things that are actively influencing your programming, those are all where the programs are being active. All the active programs are is running through your subconscious mind. But everything in your unconscious mind is now the collective information of everything that you'll ever know or experience will be in your constant unconscious mind, right? Every possibility, everything, right? And then you have the superconscious, right? The superconscious mind is basically like, it's just a parallel to all of them actively working, not all the time working, just all of them existing, all of them is parallel to each other. Is like an organism, and the superconscious is like the God aspect, right? This is where you manifest your own reality through the superconscious mind, right? But the unconscious and the subconscious and the unconscious are the main three that people should be aware about. This is how you can change and modify your behavior. This is how other people change and modify your behavior. Many people not aware, not consciously aware that, when you hear the word spells and stuff like that. I used to grow up and saying sticks and stones might break your bones, but words can't. But words are more effective in damaging somebody than actual actually causing physical harm to them. Now you can leave programmings in somebody that is not of their own interest. And that's how I feel like what happened to me. But I'm saying this happened to me at a very young age. So, and it happened in perpetuity, and I never gotten time or space to really address them because I was constantly dealing with some kind of traumatic event where it draw away my time and my attention to myself, right? But since now I don't really have much excuses, right? Right now I living in a household by myself. And maybe, and God blessed me. It's clearly, what would you subject it to, or what would you say? I have light, I have water and stuff like that, I don't have anyone, but that's that I still can find ways to work around that with um in certain aspects, right? For the time being until I figure this out, you know. 'Cause I don't want to be in an unhealthy environment. So that's why I have to dedicate. And really and truly, another thing, my fear of being labeled. I'm already labeled as somebody who is um crazy. I just don't like that word. I'm already so I don't know how to come to accept it 'cause I don't think that I am a crazy person, and I know that people that might be cliche, like a crazy person are going to see themselves as being crazy, you know. But I just don't know how to get around that thing where, these things where people, these malicious people trying to do, been planning, and, I never followed their rhythm, you see me? I never, in, I never synchronize, I never resonate, because the rhythm that they were trying to subject me to, it never resonate with me. It never resonate to me. It never penetrate my soul. Never nothing. I always went away and done what I needed to do, what I felt like I needed to do. That was up to my interest of, you know, why I can be doing this right now, or why I can be thinking at a level like this now. It's always been like playing chess on a monopoly board, you know. I seeing that, I'm just constantly reminded that I'm just alone in this. I've been running a video and I've been doing this for quite a while, and I don't see any views, and it's just, it's like even back in the day too, like it's just weirdos just watch my stuff, and they are attracted to it, and I want to change that too. Yeah, I don't know how, I see a lot of people make their outcry videos, and it make me wonder how much of this is like people crisis actors, and they're just doing stuff for people like myself to now go out there and try attempt doing it, and will come to see what's going on and really going on, to basically be devastated enough to commit acts that, don't coincide with life, because it seems like these people about anti-life. Now I felt suicidal at one point, and I had good reasons to feel suicidal, and people was taking the piss out of me. People was trying to force me to commit suicide. I never got no helping hand, or nobody put out their hand, and was trying, and it's always been a fight, and I hung in there because I had too much riding on the line for the work that I had already done, you know. I already had, and this is why I have this chain right now, you know. So I have this watch, you know. And made sure went out and got things for myself to look like somebody in society. So, it's about appearance, it's about approach, it's about first impression. I come to understand. Some people, I notice they don't care about their first impression when you're vulnerable. They don't care about what you think about when you're vulnerable. It will never affect, they're going to just here to manipulate you. They're not here to make you feel good or, you know, feel welcomed. You know, I want to achieve that mentality too. Like, not to use it for insidious purposes, but to really not give a fuck, because it's really an art. It's really an art. I have not mastered it, but I'm a practitioner of it. It's something that I had to take up. You know, that you have to be able to operate. If you are not fully cognizant or confident in your abilities, right? The only way you're going to be, because you're just going to suffer from anxiety, because you're going to be always worried if you're doing the right thing or how people interpret what you're doing. Or, sometimes you can slip up. You're human. I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. I'll trip, but I'll trip in style. I'll trip in style and make it look cool, because that's what it's about. Making your mistake seems flawlessly, like, where, as long as it don't harm nobody or or yourself, it's cool. It's cool. We're going to make mistakes. I always knew that, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to fail. But, when coming under these kind of conditions where your failure can be exploited or make make somebody to do something devastating, no matter how insignificant might be, or this and that, I just want to be protected, have some form of security all around. I just want security all around, like to be secure in every aspect, where even if some hurdle or some obstacle come in my way, you know, I'm secure I'm confident in my ability to deal with it. You know, that's all I would want. That's all I would want. You know, I feel like kind of worn out right now, so I think I'm gonna end the live right here.